Alright. Let's see what we can do. See the number 1 back on the card today. So, what can we do in this qualifying session? Well, we have a Mercedes right in front of us, so that's good. We'll say one who's got that's Carlos Sainz of the Ferrari. Sainz will get out of the way towards the apex of the corner. There he goes. He lets us go with that dirty air that affected us costly. Would dearly love to race around this track. Lando Norris goes across the lines with 126.258, quicker than anyone else. We're about a 10th off of our teammate. Actually, we're a 2nd off of our teammate. Now, are we just sandbagging at this point? As we are 2/10 off, Hamilton splits us. Try to go one more with this set. We're 10th up. 27.8 for Jake Brown in that first sector, and he's going for another one. Sorry, my bad. The championship lead, the champion, Jake Brown. He's about a 10th off of Lando Norris. He was that second part of the lap, but he can get close. He's fine, just a couple of hundredths. Across the line, so 26.4 for Jake Brown. Still a couple of tenths off. He's about 2/10 off of the of his teammate Lando Norris. And out of the 4 guys, he is the one that's mostly down. Max Verstappen, he's not set a lap time. Is he gonna set one now? Where's Verstappen? Verstappen now goes through the final corner. What is his lap time? He's got a 27.9, a 37.1, and across the line he goes to 10th fastest. So Red Bull are in deep danger here. We've got Lance Stroll, quicker than Charles Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, quicker than anyone else, but the big question is the McLaren of Jake Brown, slower than Lando Norris at the moment. He loses time in that second sector, that's the problem. If you can get a good lap in, you can get it to 26.1, that will be dear. Actually, the Alfa Romeos are quick. Daniel Ricciardo's in 12th. Could score points. It's a Jake Brown. He's gonna be the one to go out here and try to set a monster lap. If you can, of course, if you can get down to the 25, that means he's locked in for the front row. The question is, can he get to the front row though? Sebastian Vettel in 6th, by the way. That's a brilliant result for Vettel and Aston Martin. Here we go towards, you know, going now towards the main straight. Here we go. Here comes Jake Brown. Does he have enough speed towards the corner? Charles Leclerc right there. So he's got already maybe a couple of tenths towards that first corner, but towards the second is his problem. First sector, he's on the 27.7, quicker than Hamilton there by a tenth of a second. Now what can he do towards that corner? Look at Jake Brown, look how much time he's got. He's got 5/10 of a second. Says on his Delta board. He's got Max Verstappen for company, he's got 6/10 of a second. He's gotta get a little bit of a tell from Max Verstappen. And that's good. He really needs a toe now towards this left-hander. Really high speed now towards another high-speed right-hander here. Towards here in this Bahrain Grand Prix. He's 4/10 up. He's really on fire. A 26.3 for Lewis Hamilton. Compared to him, it's 4/10 down. But look at that final corner. He's got to go across the line. It's a 25.5
That's the fastest lap so far.
by the world champion.
You're currently on pole.
Great lap. 25.5. A new track record by the champion. He's got this in the bag. He gained so much time towards those corners. Valtteri Bottas moves up to second. I think he's going quicker than Norris. Norris needs to get that front row if he wants to stick with his teammate. His teammate's on fire. Lando Norris is on the front row. He's not even closer to his teammate of Jake Brown. He's on the 25.5s. Jake Brown. This could be mighty here. Jake was purple in that first sector, lost very much time in that second sector. And he's like, well, I'm just going to bounce out here. Just give it an opportunity. Jake Brown is going to be on pole position. Oh, Verstappen makes contact with Jake Brown. Getting out of the way. He was sticking behind Verstappen. Verstappen was getting held up behind Nicholas Latifi. Jake Brown went out of the way. Verstappen hits him. Now is that going to be a penalty for Jake? Because Jake was out of the way. He went to the curbs immediately, but then Verstappen hit him. I think that will not be a penalty. I don't know what your opinions on that, but as you can see, we backed out of the lap. Verstappen was going for a hot lap. We were onto the side of the track. We were off of the line. We go to the curb. Verstappen hits the rear. Could that be a penalty incoming for Jake Brown? Will that be no further action because Verstappen was being held up with Nicholas Latifi, who was also on the flying lap. Verstappen went for a mighty line. Just look at this, going through. He's gonna go to this, gonna be side by side with Latifi here, and then trying to go for that dive bomb. Verstappen makes contact with the McLaren, so I feel like it's not gonna be a penalty. Either that's gonna be a penalty for Verstappen, or that's gonna be a penalty for Jake Brown. But Verstappen comes in anyway. Charles Leclerc improves, and Jake Brown, he's crossed the line.
Fantastic.
He's got full position. So Jake Brown has got himself a pole position, but there is gonna be some investigation
We're all
going, mate.
ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Brown, Norris and Valtteri Bottas. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
As you can see, both Aston Martins are in the top 10 in qualifying. Giovinazzi, a mighty lap, putting himself to 11th ahead of Tsunoda and Gasly in the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeos are quick. The Alpines as well, they're covered by 2 seconds, but look at the rest. Like 17th to 20th. Nah, George Russell had a bad qualifying. But look at that, we are on pole at 25.517. Frick. That's a mouse. Sorry, mouse. But that's a 25.517. Beautiful lap. Even towards that second sector. We were mighty towards that second sector, and that helped us getting ourselves to pole position.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
Oh, not all of these. I guess Valtteri Bottas is just going
Your
closer.
teammate had a strong performance out on track today. Great. Well, that's everything.
Well, Lando Norris, he's gonna start in our front row. Can he get his first win in Formula One? The question is, we're quicker than him in terms of race pace. We're quicker than him in any shape or form. Lando Norris needs to step up his game. He's 3/10 off. We just put in a mighty lap. We got the car that we wanted. Lando Norris, if he could just go for it in this race, he's just on the front row, he could win it. But the problem is his teammate. Well, I'm his teammate, but almost I could just defend really well compared to him. It's actually Bottas, bro. Bottas is on 16 acclaim. We defeated Lando Norris. Let's see, we bought Hamilton, Verstappen last season. Went to that AlphaTauri. Gio didn't even score points. Vettel did, so now Sebastian Vettel. Alright. Let's go to the race now. See what we can do, and I'm forgetting something, so do we go for an ultimate part here? Because the ultimate part is good. I'm gonna go for that ultimate part. See what we can do. I'm also forgetting that we should put the career settings to, yeah, default. But Lando Norris is on increased, so AI will still get harder. But anyway, let's go to this race then. We see who'll get the race win today.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1, of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we can see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those 10 few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Brown lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Carlos
McLaren
Sainz,
front row,
and
Mercedes
Verstappen,
second row.
Perez, Vettel,
Vettel in 8th and Stroll in 10th. That's brilliant for Aston Martin. Antonio Giovinazzi.
Pierre Gasly and Island, Ricardo, Ocon, Mick Schumacher and George Russell, Latifi and
There's going to be a really big battle in that midfield.
It's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
And battle for points as well. Ferrari versus Aston Martin. We shall see.
Great way to start the season. Pole position. Now let's take the win.
Do we go hard tires? It still will give us mediums. Let's revert the strategy. So we can't do anything about it. Alright. Let's go then. Well, a new season, a new start. It's the 2022 Bahrain Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. It's a brilliant start for us. We're going to cut off Lando Norris right away. We make contact with Lando, and Lando, with a brilliant start of his own, goes towards turn 1 in the lead. We switch to the inside line now. Norris, Brown, Bottas as well as in there. Lando Norris, who's going to win this battle? Brown still side by side, forced off the track, but Lando Norris still battling with his teammate Jake Brown, still on that inside line. Towards turn 4 we go. Jake Brown defends his all as he's up into the lead. Lando Norris still will not give up. Norris on the inside towards the right-hander, towards the left, towards these bends. He's still going to be side by side with his teammate. Norris is being feisty here today, but Lando Norris still holds on there to second place. His team, Jake Brown, holds on to the lead. The two McLarens are having it, and here comes Lando. Lando, another brilliant exit, and Lando Norris is going to get the lead. He's going to be side by side with his teammate on the outside. Brown defends all his might. Norris trying to switch on that inside. Brown still holds firm. What a brilliant first lap. The two McLarens were battling it in their all. Brown trying to break the slipstream of his teammate. As you see Brown going to that inside line, trying to break the slipstream of Lando Norris. Norris knows that. And Jake Brown will just try to pull away now. So at the moment, in the lead, Jake Brown, the world champion, leading from Lando Norris. Valtteri Bottas in third. Now towards these 1, 2. Now towards these fast bends, Jake Brown now starting to pull away from his teammate Lando Norris. Norris is still holding on there in second. He's 6 tenths ahead of the Mercedes with Valtteri Bottas in third. Then it's Verstappen with a brilliant start in fourth, and Hamilton there in fifth. That was a brilliant exit, by the way, by Jake towards that exit of that corner. Lando Norris still getting that slipstream from behind his teammate. So his teammate is really good towards his third sector. Still 5 tenths closer. Lando Norris, is he? There's a world where Jake Brown will try a one-stopper. Jake Brown quicker than Norris. It's 29.1 by Jake. Norris third. He's pulled away at 1.2 seconds ahead of Valtteri Bottas. So Lando Norris. The McLarens are pulling away from the Mercedes. So there is someone who fits it in the Williams of Nicholas Latifi. Or was it a Williams? It was a Williams. Yeah, it is Nicholas Latifi. So here's your order. Sebastian Vettel up to 7. Holding firm. And Carlos Sainz further back. Lewis Hamilton is still... Actually, Norris is close back in here. I think his teammate is going to sit back, watch him and relax, but here comes Norris. He's gaining, he's going to go to the outside. Norris though. Oh, and what a switchback. Brown was caught fooling there. Brown still on that inside. He's going to be side by side with his teammate, forcing him without room. Brown still holds firm that lead, but now Norris once again, he's going to try to make a move. Does Norris have more pace than his teammate? We don't know. Brown's just keeping himself in touch in distance. Norris is just closing in now with that DRS assistance. And now here comes Norris. He's gonna go to the inside. Oh, did he make contact with Jake Brown there? As Brown does not want to make it hard for Norris, but Norris locks up. But Norris holds firm in that lead. Lando, really with that ERS, Jake's just a tough pill to swallow for Jake, isn't he? Jake's now the one that's closing in on Lando Norris. Or is he really just trying to play on Lando Norris? He's really playing Lando Norris really well. Brown is going really wide. Norris is pulling away. And his teammate at the moment is just sitting back. So right now, still gonna be close, but the DRS train behind, by the way, with the Red Bulls and the Mercedes. So Lando Norris.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
And now Brown's gonna close in. He can make a move at turn 4, but does he really want to do that? Yeah, those two McLarens really quick in this track. This is gonna be a McLaren track. Sorry, this is not a McLaren track in recent years. In real life, McLaren have had a DNF in 2022. They didn't finish well. They finished bottom of the field in 2022 in this race. Jake's still closing in. His teammate Lando Norris, he's chilling, is what you call it. Jake wants to attack. He really is going to try to attack now. Norris is pulling away. His teammate at the moment still sitting behind him, but towards this final corner, this is where Brown is really good.
Tire condition is still looking good.
Norris might just be a little bit in danger. Someone has spun round further back before the move will happen. Someone has spun round further back. One of the AlphaTauris. It's Callum Ilott. It's Ilott, the rookie. Look at that replay one more time. No, he's on the medium tires, spinning round, goes to the gravel, and that is Callum Ilott's race ruined. But anyway, back here to the action. Lando Norris in danger. Jake Brown might just send one here onto the inside, and yes, he does. The Brit now to the inside, and Brown leads this race. Now you can just pull away, manage his ERS. Norris did not know that the teammate was making a move like that, but it just happened. So Lando Norris now has to do his moves all over again. If you want to win this race, you gotta be quick, but Lando Norris is not the guy that you expect. He can be quick, yes, he can be quick. Problem is, you really need Lando Norris to get off your DRS zone if you want to win it. Because this track is really good, and Brown, you see there in his ERS bar, as we're on board with him, he's really good towards in this track. And there's someone that has an issue. It's Alfa Romeo now. The two Alphas were side by side. Gasly and Ricciardo. Ricciardo goes wide. The battle for P13. The two Alphas were side by side. Gasly versus Ricciardo, and Ricciardo has been forced off the track by his very own teammate. So that will definitely be a debate between those two. Gasly came from AlphaTauri. Let's see what happened here. We're gonna go to the onboard of Esteban Ocon. See here towards this corner, Ricciardo goes to the curbs on the entry, and then goes wide. He was late on the brakes. Daniel Ricciardo was the one that was affected, and that will hurt his race even more. Back to the on-track action. Still there's a battle for the lead. The two McLarens are still going at it. Jake Brown versus Lando Norris. And now Norris with the DRS assistance. Can he get close to his teammate at all?
So push now.
Here he comes then. Norris, Brown. Which way is Norris gonna go? He's gonna go to the inside. Brown moves late. That might be a debate later on between the two McLarens. Brown goes wide towards the corner. He's gonna go to the gravel. Here comes Lando Norris. Is Norris gonna make his move? Norris is gonna go to the outside. Is he gonna make the move towards 10-4? Towards this right-hander? No. Is he gonna go for another switchback? Yes, he is, but he just cannot get the exit compared to his teammate. Lando is hounding his teammate right behind him, so this is gonna be crucial minutes here. Here comes Norris. Where's he gonna go? Norris continues to hound his teammate, and now this is the place where he really likes. Lando Norris on the outside. Brown already defends, and Lando Norris leads the Bahrain Grand Prix. Brown will not fight him. Will not fight his teammate. Wow. He does not want to fight with his teammate right now. He doesn't want to be the Alfa Romeo guys. So now Norris is going to be the one who's going to try to get overtaken here, because look at this. Brown's gaining, but he's not making the move. What is Brown going to do? Brown comes into the pits along with Max Verstappen. So Brown and Verstappen are going for a two-stop strategy.
Go, go, go. You'll be racing on the exit.
Mercedes have not done anything here, so Jake Brown might as well. You have to go for that soft tires if you want to make it to the end of the race, as they're going to come out behind
Once now, one stop left.
George Russell. Is that a point of investigation? Is that a point of investigation, going past the white line? Actually, I might just flashback this just so I don't get ruined in the comments. But anyway, Lando Norris, as Jake Brown was a little bit shaky towards the exit of the final corner, and Verstappen. Well, Jake is going to be behind. Loads of traffic here, and you know Jake, he can be really mad in going past traffic here, because it is a Williams, one of the slowest cars in terms of the R&D department. But Russell, a good driver, I don't understand why Mercedes have not promoted him. Now Russell defends on that outside. Sorry, that inside. Brown is going to go for that switch. Down the inside he goes on a tricky corner. Jake Brown on a tricky corner.
Nice move.
And he's going to go to the racing line, but Russell is going to give him the shove. And now, what's the answer by Lando Norris towards the second sector? It's still going to be mighty close between the two McLarens as Jake Brown with a brilliant move on the inside of Esteban Ocon. Lando Norris will not come into the pits, so he might just go for that one-stop strategy. Is he? Jake is going to hound him, and now here comes Gasly. Gasly's going to be in real danger here as Jake Brown makes the move on the inside. Nice and easy, neat and tidy, and he gets 8th place over the Frenchman. Now Gasly's going to be in danger because of Esteban Ocon, so... And Jake has overcutted the rest, so... He is on the right strategy, he's on the right tyres. As Lance Stroll and Tony Giovinazzi are close to each other for battle for points, and Tony Giovinazzi could get his first points since 2019. As Jake has really pulled from the guys behind him on those medium tyres. They will go for, I think, a one-stop strategy, which is gonna work eventually. Oh, look at Jake Brown, look how much laps he's doing, and Lando Norris comes into the pits.
Lando is in the pits. Lando in the pits.
His teammate right now, he's on a brilliant lap. He's gonna go towards the final corner on the exit. He's gonna go across the line. Lewis Hamilton will go for that one-stop strategy. Across the line we go. Jake Brown, a 28.1, quicker than his teammate, and he's long gone. Now Norris is 4 seconds behind. Now McLaren might have just effed up the strategy here. They might not pit again. Yeah, they won't pit again. Probably not, because Lando Norris is now in the clutches of Lewis Hamilton. So this is going to be a real problematic day for Lando Norris, because right now Bottas is still quick on those soft compounded tyre. And his teammate, he's just pitted, so probably that won't be a bad gamble at all. Lando Norris might as well have just won this race. And Sebastian Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, and Yuki Tsunoda have come into the pits, as well as Antonio Giovinazzi. Jake Brown trying to get the slipstream.
Gap to car in front is 4.1 seconds.
Now, will that gamble pay off for Jake Brown and McLaren by going to the softs on Jake Brown, by really ripping it? Perez and Ocon has not pitted yet. Norris is 6 seconds off on his teammate.
Lando behind. Okay, the gap behind is 6.9 seconds.
Oh, Sebastian's out of the session. What has happened to Sebastian Vettel? In that Aston Martin, in the first race where they had a good car, Sebastian Vettel has blown it up here in Bahrain. So Vettel, well, he's out. Means Lance Stroll will get points for the Aston Martin team, but wow, McLaren. Meanwhile, we're gonna go with McLaren. Jake Brown just pulled a second and a half on Lando Norris, so this might be the best strategy for Jake, because Lando Norris. Well, everyone's closed up here. Everyone's closed up inside, and this could be major trouble for Brown as Gasly has been passed there. Checo Perez.
Yellow flag.
So now you can see Sebastian Vettel. Max Verstappen is also
Someone's come
passed.
up ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
Hi Sebastian, bye Sebastian.
Green flag.
Takes about 8 seconds off. So it's gonna be about 6 seconds when he comes into the pit. 6 or 8 seconds. That's gonna be a big pack he will go past. This is gonna ruin the strategy off. He needs to get ahead of Lando Norris in second place. But Norris is on the one stop. Probably will be on a one stop. Driver behind.
Lando is behind you. Our gap behind is 8.4 seconds. They're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 1 lap old. The time last lap was a 1:30.1.
So Norris is about 2 seconds off of our fastest lap. But we're gaining time. Perez might be a little bit troubling. To Lando Norris, as Norris is having a deep trouble here. This might actually ruin Norris' strategy here of getting into the lead, because his tires will go off in the end. If he can smash the tires right, then he can win this race. Now, the one cheeky problem, he has to go through those two Mercedes. Those two Mercedes are going to be hard to pass. It's still touch and go. In terms of strategies, the two Mercedes are actually really held up. So he's going to come out behind one of the Williams there. I think that is George Russell. He's gonna come out like 5th or 6th or something, but still, this is gonna be major damage. Brown can pull this off. He just needs a good run. Lando's like hovering 1.6 to 1.3 seconds in terms of the gap. At the moment, 9.9. We're about 10 seconds. About 10 seconds ahead of Lando Norris. So Gasly now comes into the pits, as does George Russell and Esteban Ocon. Now we're going to come out in 8th place. That's our only problem. Valentry Bottas, well, it's still going to be close.
Tyre concerns at the moment. Just focus on the driving.
And so far, 10.2 seconds. 10.4. 8th place though. This won't work out. Well, we have to go push mode at some point in the final stint, so still 11.4 seconds, 11.3, up to 7th place. We need to clear those three guys right there.
Push now. We're boxing this lap.
I really need to clear them. Tires are starting to drop off. Could be a brilliant idea, could be a bad idea. Need to be at least a second faster than Norris in these final stints. If we want to win this race. I really need to clear that Ferrari and those two Mercedes. Need new boots. Whoa. See already my reliability thing, so.
Go now.
Wow. I fucked up the pit stop. Look at this. Look. 50, 50, 49. I'm still going at it.
Exit.
Okay, wait, how? What? Alright. Sorry, I'm flashbacking so many times. Right, new fresh tires. Lando Norris is in the lead. Are we gonna be ahead of one of the Ferraris? Yes, we're ahead of both Ferraris. Alright. Now it's time to get me some Lando Norris. Got 13 laps to go. We can do this. This is doable. We are quicker than him on the medium tires. We're doing 30s on the medium tires. If he can just manage that by a tenth of a second, then he's good. But Lando, Team TSK are going to be pricks here. They're going to be definite. Hi. No, we guess it's case Hurricane Racing. Anyway, still gonna be Sergio Perez in second. He needs to pit. I need to get past these two Mercedes immediately. if I want to have a knickerbocker chance of winning this race. Oh, they're really tough on that exit, the Mercedes. Here we go though, they don't have DRS, here comes Hamilton. Hamilton is going to defend on that inside, we're just going to give that outside line. Hamilton just forces us a little wide,
You made it look easy.
but we are up into P3. But now, it's all about Valtteri Bottas now. Oh, look at the move on Bottas, and we're gonna go to that inside. What a move on that Mercedes.
That's P2. You're up to P2.
Did you see that? He really had trouble toward that exit. An amazing move, a textbook move. Didn't even expect it at all. Looking bull with Bottas, and then no, I had nowhere to go. I hit the apex. That was a textbook. Anyway, now it's time to catch up to Lando Norris. We're gonna have a little bit of a problem with Lando, but that's gonna be okay. He's gonna be defensive eyes, and look at that, we are already steering clear of Valtteri Bottas. He's gone. Look at that, we're 6.8 behind Norris now. We're really catching up to our teammate. Whoa, that was close. 6.4. 6.3 is really going down. In about 4 laps or 5 laps, we're gonna be right behind Lando. Norris, I don't know what's gonna happen to Lando, but I sure hope he's gonna be okay after this one.
Panic just yet, but we've seen a problem at our end. We're looking into it.
No. A new Mercedes engine. No. Oh, this is not gonna. Yeah, I can feel it.
There seems to be an issue with our ERS. Okay, touch wood. Seems like the fault has resolved itself.
It is not. It is not. It has not resolved itself. Anyway, we'll look at the gap between ourselves and Bottas and Hamilton. We are lightning quick. Norris is definitely going to be in danger. Look at that, it's literally draining, it's draining. It's draining.
The issue seems to be fixed, but we will keep monitoring it our end.
Oh, okay, so now we don't have VRS for this. That issue screwed us. Well, we're 4.3 seconds behind though, so that's good. So 10 laps to go. Yuki Tsunoda still holding on to that lead, sorry, to that 5th place. That is going to be an epic result for that team. Now Yuki's the #1 driver for AlphaTauri. He could actually be next in line for that Red Bull seat if he does well enough. So anyway, 3.9 seconds. Still 9 more laps to go. We can just 2 laps. 3.2 seconds now. Norris. .1. 9 more laps remaining in this race. 3.2, 3.1.
Pulling out a second a lap on the car behind.
Norris in danger. Norris in danger. There's going to be a teammate battle here between Norris and Brown. It's not going to be good. Again for Lando Norris. And now we're closing. .2 seconds, 2.3. The two McLarens are going to be battling in these last couple of laps here. Stay tuned for that. It might be a striking in about 1 lap, 1 or 2 laps or so. Jake Brown is incoming. Lando Norris is definitely in some kind of pressure. 1.9 seconds separates the two McLarens. Brown on the fast to tie on the 2-stop strategy. Norris on a 1-stop on what could be 6-lap hard tyres. This could be feisty between the two McLarens. Norris is definitely giving it absolutely everything. You gotta give props to Lando. He's been quick all weekend long, despite being a second fiddle to his teammate in qualifying. His teammate, well, it is the world champion. He is still young, but Jake can still really go for it. And as you can see, that he has DRS there in Nicholas Latifi's Lando Norris, so he might get saved here just a little bit. But Nicholas Latifi will go off track eventually, and Lando Norris is in danger. Well, is Latifi going to get out of the way here towards this straight? I think he is. He is going to let go of Latifi in this straight. Is Latifi going to let go of his Jake Brown on the straight? No, he's not. Oh, and Brown almost made contact with Latifi there. And now Brown still has the DRS though. We're going to look at a replay on that one. Look at a replay there. Norris gave way. Latifi didn't. Look how close that was. We're going to be on board with Jake Brown. With that front wing cam. Latifi didn't get out of the way. That could have been monumental. Look how close his front wing was. Literal millimeters to the back. Well, he wasn't millimeters, but he was literally meters back to the back of Nicholas Latifi's car. That could have been a race-ending crash for Jake Brown. And towards turn 1, he's starting to get that dirty air behind his teammate Lando Norris, and Norris might just be a little bit in danger. Well, you can clearly see Jake, he's close. Latifi's been on a roll right behind him, still hanging on to those two, but the two McLarens, well, Lando Norris really had to thank Nicholas Latifi for that one, but now there's no more lap cars in these final couple laps. It's all about strength and grip. is the race between the two McLarens. Norris does not have grip, I think. He's still pushing on. His teammate Jake Brown still stuck behind that dirty air. Lando Norris, well, he's going to be right in danger. His teammate's right behind him. He's not going to give up this win that easily. So Jake knows that. He knows what's coming. But now, he's got it. He's got Norris where he wants him. Lando Norris, here comes Jake Brown. He's gaining. Where will Norris move? He's going to move to the inside. Brown goes to the outside. Brown will try to go for that switchback on the inside. Come! Brown loses it. Brown saves it. And Norris still lives on for another day. Brown's, what a save by Jake. Could have been safe for ages. Norris locked up. Brown go to the curb. At the exit of the curb, he almost spun it round. We're going to look at the replay. Norris locked up. You see Jake trying to go on top of the curb. He was very impatient there. But Lando Norris lives on for another day. Now Norris with that lockup, what type of time will that cost Lando Norris, who has not won a single race in his Formula 1 career, but he's onto it now if he can defend from his champion teammate who has had 9 race wins in his Formula 1 career, all of them from last season. In his first ever season in Formula 1, became the world champion in the McLaren outfit, and now here in Bahrain at the season opener, this is going to be a brilliant battle between the two McLarens. This is what we were expecting the entire season, entire 2022 season. This season 2 is all about McLaren. The two teammates are going to be battling it out here for the win in some races in this season, and we're going to get one taste of it right now.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Norris has never won a Grand Prix, as I said. Jake Brown is trying to defeat his teammate. He's got the DRS. He's gaining again. He's gaining. Norris, he moves to the inside. Brown gets the slipstream. Brown waits. Brown now tries to go for the switchback, a clear switchback this time. He goes to the outside. Brown somehow gets the race lead. Norris, he's still holding on. Is he gonna get the race lead? No, he doesn't have enough DRS. Brown defending for all his might, and Jake Brown takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. He's got it. He doesn't need now to just push it to the limit. He just has to chillax. Now he needs to pull away from Norris, but Brown is having some sort of issue here. He might be just sandbagging at the moment. Now, what will Lando Norris do here? Both of them are alone. He can't get the exit compared to Jake, but here comes Norris. He's gaining. He cannot gain enough. And look, you can clearly see Norris struggling for grip on that hard compound tire. Jake is just giving him that DRS. Nothing that Brown could do to give Norris a chance there. He's not going to give his teammate a chance, is he? But now Norris has DRS. Here comes Lando. Is he going to be gaining? He's going to be gaining. He's gaining. Norris has the DRS. Is he going to fight back? Norris versus Brown. Here comes Lando. Down the inside he goes. Brown sees him on the mirrors. Brown still defending him for all his might. Brown still defending. Norris waits for turn 4, and this is where he can get real opportunistic. Norris on the inside. Brown on the outside. Norris doesn't want to go for the dive. Brown takes the lead again. He's still in the lead. Oh, Brown's made a mistake. Towards those bends. And Lando Norris might just get back at it here. Brown still defending. He's still giving all his might. Lando Norris. Oh, Norris almost chops off the front wing of his teammate. But Brown was not left space there on that inside line. Jake is starting to struggle as well in that McLaren on the medium tires, with now 4 laps of racing remaining. Got Nikita Mazepin behind him, and you're seeing also Valtteri Bottas is gaining on these two. Brown's waiting for that right moment, so they really need to stop battling because there's still a threat in the two Mercedes behind him. Now towards our final corner, here we go. Brown's closer this time around. Lando Norris is going to be in real danger again. Which way Norris is going to go? Is he going to go to the outside or the inside? Is Brown going to go for that inside line? Yes, he is. Jake goes to the inside. Brown to the inside. He goes wide. Lando Norris still there. Brown has to cut the corner because he wanted to give Lando Norris the opportunity to strike. Lando Norris, sorry, not opportunity to strike, opportunity to go through the corner cleanly. And Lando Norris still in the lead. Brown's getting held up real bad. He doesn't care. Oh, his teammate. This is going to be real feisty. The two teammates have been battling ever since lap 21, lap 22. And they've been battling for a long time. Now, Norris. Oh, still defending. With Lando, he knows he's got the better experience. What's the problem? Does he have the better tires? No. Brown is closing very badly, and Nikita Mazepin might give him DRS here. Brown is not going to let his teammate get DRS, is he? Nikita Mazepin needs to get out of the way. Jake Brown knows that. Norris has DRS. Mazepin's going to go to that racing line. Here we go. Brown, he's going to get the DRS. He's going to get the DRS. Look at Jake Brown going through that gap between Mazepin and his teammate. He's on the outside. Can he complete the move? They're side by side. Two teammates. Brown, Norris. Norris has to concede. 2 laps remaining. Jake Brown takes second. Taking the lead of the race. Norris takes second place. Brilliant battle between those two. Unbelievable. Did you see? We're gonna look at our replay after the race, but Lando Norris really gave it his all to that corner. Brown was defending. Now he's the one getting to defend here. Lando Norris is the one that's now gonna try to get Jake Brown. Well, this is going to be a brilliant battle to the line, isn't it? Lando Norris. Jake Brown, 2 teammates. Nikita Mazepin, by the way, was a part of the story now. Speaking of Lando Norris, Jake Brown battling it out. Brown, very dangerous there. And Lando Norris goes off. Jake Brown still in the lead. Oh, Brown's gone wide. What has happened there to the world champion? Now Brown is going to try to get to the inside. Oh, was that dangerous? Was Lando Norris in dangerous territory there? Brown gave the position.
There's only 1 lap of fuel.
So now, one last lap of this race. Lando Norris, both of them do not have DRS. Who's going to be winning this one? Norris or Brown? Side by side. Norris. Jake Brown still there on the outside. Here we go. Brown still gets it. Jake Brown takes the lead once more. Lando Norris in second place. Jake Brown's going to try to pull away, but still one final lap. Norris is starting to struggle real bad on those tires. It just might be over. Jake Brown has taken this victory, I think, unless he makes another mistake. This is where he really his tires are really starting to get out to grips here. Now Norris is going to try and make a move here. Norris is closed in. Lando, look at the mirror. Lando Norris is closed in here. Here we go. Here comes Lando Norris again on that inside line. Oh, contact between the two McLarens. Brown goes wide. Norris, is there going to be any damage to Norris? Norris has got slow. But Jake Brown, was that a massive move that was very illegal indeed. But towards the final straight of the lap, then go towards the final corner, Jake Brown, the world champion, will win in dramatic fashion. Jake Brown takes victory here in Bahrain. Lando Norris second. He might just be pissed
You've won the Grand Prix.
because of that move on that final lap. Norris was coming in hot, and then all of a sudden it just goes away from Lando. Maybe there was damage on that car.
They won in spectacular fashion here today.
Zach Brown really happy with that performance, but is there going to
What
be...
helped them deliver this result, do you think?
And I mean, you
Well,
see
honestly,
Lando
it's down
Norris,
to the driver and car
the
team.
two teammates
You can talk drive
shook
skill all
hands,
day.
maybe
If you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere.
still okay between those
That
two
sweet spot of
teammates.
having both an excellent driver and an incredible car. That's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Jake really was defending all his might, wasn't he?
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm really happy to see them there on the top step of the podium.
Now, Jake Brown wins from pole position. Ahead of, see Lando Norris and Jake Brown, both of them really happy with that performance, but is there going to be a penalty, or will there be anything between the McLaren teammates? Because Lando Norris really could have had a massive crash, could have had a fiery
Brown
crash.
takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Yuki Tsunoda gets my vote today.
It's time to check out the
Alright.
Constructors'
We're going to look at that last lap. We were battling till the start and then till the end. See Sebastian Vettel DNF'd. Fortunate scenes. Here we go. You can another finish 7th, but here we go. This is the move. Oh, contact. Look at that, Norris went to the inside. Oh, was there definite contact? There was definite contact. Brown forced him off. Lando Norris might just be pissed on that. Now that is contact right there. Definite contact. The two McLarens, they were forcing each other off the track. Now, is that going to be an illegal move by Jake Brown? Because that is definitely illegal, but no penalties were called. Norris maybe will be penalized. And as you can see, Jake Brown got pissed off with that one. But the two McLarens battling it out on track. Fast forwarded here to 2022. They're still battling it on track. Still got max points. You see, look at the tires, the condition between the tires of those two. Because look at that, Jake Brown moved late. Brown went off. Norris went wide. His teammate had to go off. But look at that, because when Lando Norris went on the inside, showed him, Brown went onto the inside immediately. He turned in, didn't possibly know that Lando Norris was speeding on there. Norris then turned in. They weren't off track, they just, I think it was just a point where Lando Norris, well, that is definitely going to be some penalty, or there will be something that's going to happen. But Jake Brown, that was good. That would have been a fiery crash. Lando Norris and his teammate will definitely, look at that, just two teammates battling out on track. Amazing scenes. They were battling the entire way. Here is the Bahrain desert. Here is Bahrain desert. So definitely there's something to talk about in that race. Valtteri Bottas finished in 3rd. So McLaren 1, 2, Mercedes 3, 4, Bottas and Hamilton 3rd and 4th. Then it's Perez in 5th. The Red Bulls, they came back after a horrible qualifying. They still finished 5th and 6th. It's Tsunoda 7th, ahead of Lance Stroll. 9th goes to Charles Leclerc. The Ferraris have had a terrible day. They've got outscored by Aston Martin and AlphaTauri, and then Giovinazzi there in 11th place. Still was quick. He was actually quicker. He could have got points actually. Sebastian Vettel could have got points, but obviously what happened to him was very unnecessary. He would have finished. Well, he would have been behind Lewis Hamilton in 5th place, or at least just a couple points there. But yeah, well, Gasly 12th, Ricciardo rebounded to 15th, I lost 16th. But yeah, that was insane. Also, I want to look at this one. I want to look at this one. Look at this. Oh! Look how the gap closed. Literally, the gap was millimeters away. Unbelievable. 3 guys. Well, Mazepin wasn't battling for the win, but you get the picture. He really was a part of this. Could have ended in a fiery crash. Look at the onboard, just forcing our way through. That is unbelievable. And then we completed the move as well. Alright, so that's gonna do it. We'll see you in China. Goodbye, take care, enjoy the rest of your day. That was insane. That was unbelievable. I enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. I think Norris will have base in China, but we'll see.